everyone. I'm Kim Ballou, your Texas PTA treasurer. We'll be voting on a change to our state dues during launch soon. Hopefully you've seen our comprehensive video detailing that proposal. As treasurer, I wanted to call out the part of the video that addresses some important information about our finances. You'll see how the money we receive supports your PTA, how much that support costs Texas PTA, ways our income has been supplemented the past few years, and how much prices have increased since the last dues change. Please take a few minutes to keep watching and learn why this dues change is necessary at this time. Visit our website, txpta.org, for more information and register for launch if you haven't yet. I hope that this video helps you understand why we need your yes vote to support the dues change amendment now. But if you still have questions, please reach out to us before launch to get those questions answered. I look forward to seeing you there.
As you know, Texas PTA currently receives $2.25 per membership. We're going to look at the last 3 years and our current year's projected expenses and income. In 2019-2020, our last year before COVID, when our membership numbers were still on the rise year to year, the cost to provide service to our members was $3.73 per member. That year, we had a membership of 523,303. Now, this year didn't include any launch expenses as the event was virtual in the next fiscal year. Had launch been held, cost per member would have been much more. You can see the breakdown of how the dues are used here. Most of this year was pre-COVID, and we didn't begin to make budget cuts until almost the end of this fiscal year, when it became apparent that COVID was not a temporary disruption. Texas PTA received $3.40 per member during the 1920 fiscal year, which is less than the $3.73 we spent per member. As you can see, the majority of that income was from member dues. Although we seek out and receive non-dues revenue, we still hear, why don't you just get more non-dues revenue? That's a great question. Texas PTA is diligent about continuously looking for these partnerships. Now, COVID also impacted sponsorships as companies looked for ways to cut costs themselves. One big sponsor, Whataburger, moved to Chicago, making sponsoring a Texas-based program, our Reflections program, look less attractive to them. We are always looking for new partnerships and ways to work with businesses to further our programs and events. In 2020-2021, because our membership number went down significantly to 321,258, our cost to serve each member went up to $6.82. This budget year included as many cuts as we could make across the board, including laying off 3 staff members. These numbers also look different because in 1920, we had to move launch virtual and into this fiscal year. These numbers include that virtual launch that was held in October of 2020 and an in-person launch held in July 2021, albeit with about 1,000 less attendees than in a normal year. Although launch typically represents a large chunk of non-dues revenue for Texas PTA, we were able to keep costs down by utilizing free volunteer talent to add value for our attendees. In the same year, 2020-2021, we received $7.47 per member. Why so much? We had income from both of those launch events that we just talked about, as well as we were approved for the Payroll Protection Program and received federal dollars to help pay for staff. Without this loan, our income would have been just $6.71 per member, which is less than that $6.82 per member that we spent. In 2021-2022, our membership remained much below pre-COVID numbers, and our cost to serve each member was $5.38. COVID continued to impact our normal operations as we tried our best to continue to reduce costs without impacting our leaders and members. Our income per member in 21-22 was $5.83, which included a second round of funding from the Payroll Protection Program. Without the Payroll Protection Program, our income per member would have been $5.33 per member, and we would have been close to running a deficit, or more expenses than income. As we moved into this current year, 2022-23, we kept our budget cuts in place. We anticipate a membership of 457,000 members, which would put our cost to provide service to our members at $5.26 per member. Our 2022-2023 income of $6.01 per member will include funding from the government's pandemic Employee Retention Tax Credit Program. Now, without this program, our income would be just $5.37 per member, which would have again put us close to a deficit for the year. Now, we are not in a dire situation, but we are at a crossroads. As you can see, we can keep going as we have been and maintain the cuts we have made the last 3 years. But we want to go back to being able to fund our events and programs at pre-COVID levels and then grow and expand in all the ways we talked about in those 5 areas. Increasing our investment in leaders, amplifying our legislative voice, broadening our parent engagement and family engagement efforts, reaching more communities, and incorporating strategic technology initiatives. Although there are benefits to paving this road forward immediately, we are proposing to implement this change to the Texas PTA dues on August 1st, 2024, to make this transition smoother for our leaders. Therefore, there will be no change to the Texas PTA budget until the year 2024-2025. Okay, that was a lot of numbers, y'all. So to put this into perspective, have you bought groceries lately? These prices are comparing grocery prices in 2009 and 2023. You know, the jokes like, I don't usually brag about our expensive trips, but Brad just got back from the grocery store. Here are some examples of the inflation we are experiencing. Can you believe what he paid for some of this stuff? Y'all, eggs have gone up 203%. In addition to groceries, gas and cars have gone up too. The value of $1,000 has gone up. Texas PTA is asking for a 66% increase to help us cover inflationary costs and position us well for the future. We talked earlier about non-dues revenue. Non-dues revenue is never guaranteed. What we do have, and what is a constant, are our memberships. If we want to do what we do using just current member dues, $2.25 per membership, this is how many members we would need to break even. Now, add non-dues revenue on top of that and imagine what we could do. So we either need to have this many memberships or adjust our dues. In the last 5 years, our highest membership number has been 523,303. Now, while we would love to see over 1 million memberships, realistically, we know in order to keep growing and providing the service we do to our leaders and members, it's time to raise our dues. 2009. That's the last time we changed the dues, and we believe changing them to $3.75 per membership will take us years into the future.